Throughout the entire skate series, you are continuously running into a cast of pro skaters that you can interact with. These pros have their own cutscenes, lines of dialogue, and unique challenges. Once you do their challenges, you typically will unlock them as a playable skater and will usually get some customization items tied to them and the brand they ride for. This is a system that is loved by fans of the skate games. One of the biggest things I see requested for the new game is pro skaters returning. Believe it or not, we haven't had any confirmation that pros will even be in the game. This is a hot topic of discussion when it comes to the new game since it's free to play, so a lot of people wonder how pros would even work in the new game. Regardless, if pros are in the game, I think the cast of skaters will be much different now. Of course, I think new, young, up-and-coming pros should be at the forefront of the game, but I do think it'd be really cool to get some returning skaters. Some people would even consider these skaters legends at this point. So this entire concept made me think, if I could bring back only 5 pros from the entire series into the new skate game, who would I choose? This is my personal top 5 list of skaters that I want to see return. When I made this list, I tried to think of pros that are still relevant today, maybe through a brand they've created or just still being involved in the skate scene. Our lists may be different from each other, so let me know yours down below. Now let's get into it. Number 5, Eric Costin. When I think back on one of my favorite skaters from back in the day, Eric Costin is very high on that list. Costin does some insane things in his video parts, and he has always had a great personality as well. One of the most iconic moments in a video for me is in the video Yeah Right, when he was threatening to beat a dude down with his board because he stole his wallet. I mean, this literally looks like it could be a cutscene in a video game.
It's my wallet!
Where's my fucking wallet?
I didn't do this, man!
All your pockets now! All your fucking pockets now! All your pockets now!
Okay!
All your pockets now!
I did not do this, man!
Now! Give me your wallet!
I'm giving you my
Give me your
wallet!
fucking wallet!
You call
Oh,
the
you
cops!
fucking had a fucking $100 in there!
No,
You son of a bitch!
bullshit, man.
You fucking son of a bitch!
didn't
Give
do
me
it,
your
man.
fucking wallet! Now!
Wait for
Now!
Not only is he really good and technical at skating, he also co-owns a huge brand that has been part of skating for years now, and that's the Barracks. The Barracks have been around for a long time. It was even featured in previous skate games. I think it'd be perfect to bring Costin back in the new game along with the Barracks Park, brand, and most importantly, Battle at the Barracks. If the Barracks and Battle at the Barracks are in the game, Eric Costin would be the perfect pro to introduce you to it. On top of the Barracks, Costin has several sponsors including Nike, Supreme, and Diamond. He even rides for Skate Mental, which is a newer brand that we have never seen in skate. So there could be so many clothes and boards that come with Costin being in the game. The only request I have is to never bring anything back that is similar to the extremely frustrating Skate 2 challenge, Can You Spell Girl? Please never again. I will actually cry. Full circle, please don't ever do that to me, please. Number 4, Chris Cole. Growing up, Chris Cole was always one of my favorite skaters. His video parts and his tricks in Battle of the Barracks or Street League always seemed so clean and effortless to me. One of the biggest reasons I've always liked Chris Cole was not only was his skating incredible, but he also had a really nice aesthetic to me. He rode for Fallen and Zero for the longest time back in the day, and both of those brands have this super edgy aesthetic that I just loved. Add on top of those brands, he always had a Monster Energy sponsorship, which makes it even edgier for teenage me. Currently, Fallen Footwear is back after being gone for a long time, and Chris Cole is signed to the newly reformed Fallen. It would be perfect to bring Fallen back into the game along with Chris Cole at the forefront of the brand. Chris Cole is without a doubt a legend at this point, and I think a skate game without him just doesn't feel right. Chris Cole is someone that has always been good at skating and so iconic in the skate scene that he just deserves a spot in any skateboarding video game in my opinion. Number 3, Paul Rodriguez. One of the things that blows my mind about the Skate series is how little Paul Rodriguez appeared in it. P-Rod was only in the first Skate game, which is wild. After Skate 1, he appeared in Tony Hawk Ride, which came out right in between Skate 2 and 3, but thankfully he was in Tony Hawk Ride. We really needed him in that very important skateboarding game that everyone really loved. Definitely needed that.
Maybe I should put my pads on.
But I think on that reason alone, Paul Rodriguez should make a return, but even without that, he has had an incredible skateboarding career, winning several contests throughout his careers, especially Street League and X Games. His style is so clean and effortless, he literally skates like he is in a video game because so many tricks he does just look that good. On top of his extremely successful career, great video parts, and really good skating, he also co-founded a skate brand. Along with him as a character in the game, he could bring his brand into the game as well. What is that brand, you ask? Oh yeah, it's this little brand called Primitive. That's right, in 2008, Paul Rodriguez left Plan B and co-founded Primitive, and Primitive is absolutely massive today. This brand would be a perfect fit in the new game, along with Paul Rodriguez as a character. If we stick with our system I started earlier, you could do challenges for P-Rod and unlock him, and even primitive items for your own skater to show off. So full circle, I'm calling out to you, please bring our boy P-Rod back. He hasn't been in a Tony Hawk game since 2009, so there definitely should be no issue on that front. I just really hope to see him return. Number 2, Mark Gonzalez. Mark Gonzalez, or Gons for short, is a skateboarding icon. He is a skateboarding pioneer. Gons is a legend and revolutionized street skateboarding in many different ways and still contributes to skateboarding today. Mark Gonzalez is so iconic that honestly I could just stop here and I'm sure most people would understand him being number 2 on this list, but let's just talk about what he has done. The first person to skate a handrail, Mark Gonzalez. First person ollie over the Wallenberg Gap, Mark Gonzalez. One of the first skaters to skate switch, Mark Gonzalez. Who made Embarcadero in San Francisco popular by just skating it? Mark Gonzalez. Who founded Blind Skateboards and designed the iconic Blind logo? It was Mark Gonzalez. Who founded Crooked Skateboards and designed the Crooked logo? Mark Gonzalez. You can go on and on about all of the firsts that Gons has done and all of his contributions to skating, but honestly, that could be an entire video in itself. The point is, if there are any skaters that should return, Mark Gonzalez has to be up at the top of the list. Maybe in the new game, we can get a Legends roster that features iconic skaters from back in the day, and Gons would fit perfectly in there. Honorable mentions. Honestly, I think most skaters that have been featured in the Skate franchise could make the list of honorable mentions. This list was extremely hard to narrow down as I had to cut some of my favorite skaters out. I wanted to be strict on the honorable mentions, so I only have 2 skaters for you. The first pro skater is Mike Carroll. It felt dirty to put Eric Costin on this list without mentioning Mike Carroll. Mike Carroll being featured in this game would honestly be a no-brainer. You might ask why, and I have an answer for you. He's a co-founder of both Girl Skateboards and Lakai Footwear. Yep, those are both facts. Both are iconic brands and both were co-founded by an icon. So full circle, bring back Mike Carroll along with Girl and Lakai. He was even featured in every Skate game and has even stated that his favorite video game was Skate. It's perfect. Just please, no can you spell girl. Please, let's not do that again. My second honorable mention is the one and only Rob Dyrdek. Rob Dyrdek is legendary for what he did outside of skateboarding more than his skating itself. Along with his TV shows Rob & Big and Fantasy Factory, he also was a huge part in designing a ton of DC shoes and even co-founded Street League, which is still a big skate competition today. He was also very prominent throughout Skate 2's storyline as well. And honestly, another really good point is without Rob Dyrdek, we would have never gotten Big Black in Skate 2. He didn't make my list because he is more of a businessman and entrepreneur these days and no longer owns Street League, but regardless, it'd be cool to see Rob Dyrdek return in some form in the new game. Now that we got the honorable mentions out of the way, let's get to number 1 on my list of pros that should return in the new Skate game. Number 1, Coach Frank. Honestly, I could probably end the video here and most of you would understand because it's Coach Frank and we must have Coach Frank back. But let me elaborate anyways. To some people, it may be no surprise that Coach Frank is number 1 on this list, but to others, they may be saying, wait, what? That's a made-up character in Skate 3. How is he a pro skater? And to that person, I say, wrong. Coach Frank is a real-life person. In fact, he didn't even originate from Skate 3. Coach Frank is a character played by professional skateboarder Jason Lee. And now you might be saying, wait, what? Jason Lee? That's the guy from Alvin and the Chipmunks and My Name is Earl. And to that person, I say, yeah, you're right. Actually, he is. That is the same guy. That's right, Jason Lee is a pro skater, amazing actor, and our beloved Coach Frank. Jason Lee is a legendary skateboarder and an innovator of street skating. On top of that, he owns one of my favorite skate brands, Stereo. You ever wonder why Coach Frank's skate school has Stereo all over it? That's because Coach Frank literally owns the brand. I think it'd be perfect to see Coach Frank open up the new game and help us become acquainted with San Vansterdam. It'd be the perfect welcome back gift to everyone in the skate community. I'd understand if Full Circle wouldn't want to do that so they can do something fresh and new, but at least let's get Coach Frank in the game, and if pros are playable, let's also get a Jason Lee variant. I mean, why not? Let's recognize the greatness that is Coach Frank in the skate series and also the man behind the character, because both of them are brilliant in their own right. But that is my list of pro skaters that I want to see return in the new skate game. Let me know who you want to see return in the comments below. I love reading all your ideas and suggestions. It's probably my favorite thing about running this channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed to my channel already, I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. But that is the end of this video. As always, go play some skate.